Alright, y'all. I'm back in the garden. Or going to the garden. Kamara, please don't get in that dirt. I was wondering, have y'all ever thought about how to financially plan for a garden season? Materials, seeds, and all? Just wondering. If not, let's do that today. You can do it with me. All right. Okay. All right. So walking to the garden, and let me do a quick update on what's going on. First off, not already, right? My mindset is not negative towards this. Josh, could you leave that alone real quick? But just, this is how life is. So I have my pretty pink door. It's too high, so I've been putting a piece of wood here to keep pests out and pushing this situation against the wood so that it's like, you know, super sturdy. But I came out this morning and seen that it was pushed down, so that's not sufficing. So what I'm thinking about doing is getting some of this leftover fencing and cutting it on the bottom and zip tying it so it hangs down. Let me know if y'all have any other solutions that are pretty much ready to go, easy to assemble. But anyway, we're not doing a garden tour today, so we'll talk about that sooner than later. But here's my broccoli, and this is how most of the leaves are looking. And so let me know if y'all know any solutions about that, you know. So here's some starts that I did 2 weeks ago. That's cucumber, that's doing good. That flipped over and I was mad as I don't know what. What's this? Red orange mini peppers. So I don't know how they're gonna do. This is basil. Red Reuben basil. I feel like I did that. I planted that out. We got some, what's this? All you can sweet. I think these are melons. This is broccoli. Summer squash. All right, I said we wasn't doing a garden tour. I said we was doing an update. My bad. So last time y'all seen, I was filling these beds with weeds from over here so that my last layer could be soil and I could plant out the rest of my starts. So the rest of my starts are planted out. If you did not catch my last video where I went over you know, what it is that I bought, how much I paid for it, go check that out. I'll try to link it in this video. But this is what it turned out to be. These are broccoli. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of broccoli. To be completely honest with you, I'm really trying to get the rest of my garden ready, like to get a couple of beds ready, because I want to move this broccoli. So I probably would keep this one here and this one here, but I would take this one out and I would take this one out. So anyway, we talked on the last video when I was planting and prepping about how I may rework this, but I want to at least get it in some, you know, a temporary home that's a lot more stable than a starter pot. You know what I mean? But listen, okay, You don't even gotta listen. Look, baby, these leaves, look, take a look. Honey, doing so well. This is a banana pepper. It's alright. Cucumbers alright, but my lettuce looks amazing. This is potatoes. So anyway, that's the update. That's how it turned out. Y'all seen me building the foundation and filling up the beds, and this is what the end result looks like. Let's clean this up. Hold on, I'm sorry y'all, I'm moving. I think it looks beautiful. I really do. I'm proud of it. All right. Oh, and everything did not fit in these beds. So I have tomatoes in this pot. And again, temporary. Because I think that's like 1 tomato. Look at that. And 2 peppers. I don't know if that'll thrive. This is a broccoli. This is just too, to me, I feel like that's not gonna be good with how much is in there, but at least it's up potted until now we can get to this. All right, until this is done. Now that, here's the vision. Now that, you know, I've done the most urgent things, this is the next most urgent thing. To get this ground covered, holes burned, and ready to go. But let me tell you what happened. So originally, I wanted this weaved. I found out that this is called weaved landscape fabric. Okay. It's frayed at the end. So, but my husband went to the store and he bought this kind that's see-through. All right, so I use that over there in the perimeter garden, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But overall, that's not what I wanted. However, I said I don't know when we're gonna be able to get it, based on bills and finances, really, to be transparent, right? However, I do know that it's hot outside and the grass grows. I mean, this just got cut like a week and a half, no, about 2 weeks ago, and it's already looking foresty. And I'm like, I cannot come back out here and re-till this. So I need it covered. I don't have enough cardboard. Let me use what I have. As I was thinking about covering this, I said, why don't I double cover? Because as I've been looking at different gardening tubers, I have realized that they have regrets with how they covered their ground. And the regrets is in the crevices. So one thing that I learned is that you need to overlap. And another thing that I thought is that it's not gonna hurt me to double cover. So this is gonna be the first layer all the way throughout. I ran out of pins, which is why this is halfway done. And then I'm gonna come back over it with the weave landscape fabric. You've seen this is see-through, so water is not gonna be an issue to get through. And as far as, I'm gonna do a test, but I'm pretty sure that water can get through here. So now, what's my next task to do? My next task to do is to gather all of the material that I'm going to need. And that, my friends, is where I want to take you along my financial planning journey, so that you can see how I'm doing it, and hopefully it will inspire you to start doing this. Now, this planning that I'm doing, listen, if you don't already have a garden, do it, start doing it now for the fall. that don't mean you're gonna be working. This stuff take time. So if you start now, you'll be ready for the fall. If you want to have some kind of summer harvest, go buy some starts, get some pots that will suffice for uppotting those starts and sustaining those starts throughout the summer, and work on your long-term solution for your garden, no matter how big a space is. That is the game plan and solution for those of you who haven't started, because I know I used to be like, man, I'll do it next year. And I would wait, if my logic was like, let me wait until the winter so I can have all seasons. And it's just like, that's just not how it works. So don't feel like you're missing out. Don't feel like it's too late because you're seeing people already having a harvest. I don't even have a harvest yet. I'm seeing gardeners that are harvesting stuff from their winter garden, harvesting stuff from their their technical spring garden. Like, my mind was like, oh, this is my spring garden, honey, this is summer. That's why we're gonna see what this broccoli do, and y'all help me figure out what I can do to save it from pests. But anyway, let's plan this out. So the first thing I did was came out here and measured this plot, because this is the next thing that I want to do. I came out here and measured this plot and got 21 feet going this way, and so I don't know, so 21 feet long and then 50 feet. My rows are 50 feet in length, and like in width is 21 feet. So that really helps me, because when you're looking at the fabric, you're gonna see 2 feet, 3 feet, and 6 feet. What does it make the most sense to get? Oh, sorry, you're gonna see 4 feet as well. Probably 4 to 6 would make the most sense for me. And then as far as the footage goes in terms of the length, you see 50 foot, 100, and 150, and 300. Well, 300, I'll have to cut it. Which, I mean, I'm okay with that. So I'm just saying, like, knowing this information and comparing it to what the stores have starts you out thinking like, okay, what do I need? But listen, the first thing you need to do is take a look at your vision and say, what are we doing right now? What do we need to do right now? And what do we need to do in the near future? Let's start at 60 days, the next 60 days. So the next 60 days, I want to get this covered and hose burnt and it prepped for my husband, who's going to use this plot. I'm just going to use 1 row, and the rest of this is his garden space for this season. He want to do whatever he want to do, and I need to get it prepared for him. The next thing that I want to do in the next 60 days is get an identical bed put right next to here. I want to get it filled and planted out. Rather it's from you know, just straight up direct. It's gonna be a lot of direct seeds, and whatever I get from the starts, I mean from the seedlings that I have started in mid to mid April. And then I'm still thinking to myself about a few things, right? Because I've been hinting that I want 2 forever beds. I want not forever beds, two the towers. Somebody help me out. Green stalks, except mine are gonna be pink. So if he got that hint, I'm getting 2 of them, but I really want 4. 1 for every corner. And so anyway, let's get to planning. So for practical use, let's recap real quick before we get into some details of my specific planning. First and foremost, what I did was I set my goals. I set my goals based on my achievement goals, what I want to achieve in my garden. You know, based on what I have, that's a goal. Like that's, so for instance, I already had an in-ground bed. What's my goal for the in-ground bed? Why is this important? If circumstances change tomorrow in terms of your finances, you can always use what you have. You can always maximize what you have. That's stewardship 101. That's Yah's will. So make a goal, not only for growth, but for stewardship and maximizing what you have. So I had already had that square garden, that square bed here. I kind of didn't want to walk, but it looked like that's gonna be the best thing to do. So let me get my stuff while I'm talking to y'all and get my footings together. Hopefully my phone don't drop while I'm trying to walk. Okay. All right, let me walk my pregnant self over so that, because I love y'all. Listen, the angle was not angling, okay? All right, so make goals based on what was already there, what's already there, and then make your expansion and growth goals. Start with the goals first, what you want to accomplish and what and why. Don't say I want to get six bed in-ground beds, or I don't know, 6 beds or whatever, and then you ain't already planned out what you gonna plant in it. That is silly, and I'm gonna tell you why. You will, if you plan that way, if you make your goals that way, what's gonna end up happening is you're gonna have resources sitting there and incomplete projects. So you really need to think everything out. And what do I mean by resources sitting there? You'll get the beds, but you underestimated how much soil it would take to fill up each bed, and you don't even have enough starts seedlings to fill the bed. So don't make goals that way. So what was already there? This. At the start of my garden, this was already there. See if I can zoom in. I haven't zoomed in a while, so y'all bear with me. That bed was already there, and that bed that's covered in weeds that I need my husband to take care of was already there. And then this in-ground was already, oops, sorry. This in-ground bed was already here. All right, so that is how I started my first goals. So my first goal was to flip those beds, to flip those beds that were already there, and to weed out the rows and cover them, to cover them and then plant them out. I'm already getting to the next part, which is break down your goals into to-do lists, into a itemized or action step to-do list. So let me read to you, because my handwriting is probably not the most legible, how I broke down just utilizing what I already have goals. Sorry, it's a lot going on. All right, so I put before I even started clearing anything out, I'm sorry for the shaded, view, but look, catch the information. The information is valuable, right? Whew. Before I even started, preparing my beds, what did I do? I prepared seedlings. I start planting out seeds so that I could have something to put in the beds before I turned them over. That's what I mean. Think this thing all the way through. So I put on my actionable to-do list, finish seeding lettuces, plant out perimeter in-ground beds, which are those 2 that I already had that I showed you. Go ahead and lay my landscape fabric, burn the holes, plant out the in-ground fabric covered bed or in-ground garden, build another square bed, plant more sweet potatoes, onions, and whatever else I can fit in there. And then I got more to-do list stuff, itemized to-do list stuff, like spray paint my rack, right? So I do have some beautification stuff on there. That's utilizing what I already have. Spray paint my rack pink, my plant rack pink, and then create a watering system. That's like a 45-60 day goal, right? So that's for 2 months. That whole to-do list encompasses my goals of utilizing and beautifying what I already have. Utilizing, expanding, beautifying what I already have. Now, after you do your to-do list, so step 1, set the goals based on what you already have. Step 2, set a to-do list of achieving those goals. And then if you have an expansion goal, go ahead and, you know, like for me, one of my expansion goals is to build a square bed. That's this one over here. Can you see past that chair? That one. I tried to cover it. I'm experimenting, so don't even worry about that. But anyway, Lord, and we don't even need to edit this out. Y'all need to see. Look, this is how it is. That's an expansion goal that I kind of threw in there. But guess what? I prioritized it as I would come outside, you know, not two. I've been out here at least 3-4 days out of the week. But on a really busy week, I could only squeeze 2 times I can come out here in this garden other than to water, right? I could do 90 minutes is kind of like my minimum. Y'all remember last year, if you've been following me for more than a year, you know that I started out with 30 minutes. You know, I started out with 30 minutes, then I increased it to 60 minutes, then I increased it to 90 minutes. Now, and then now sometimes I have 3 hours that I'll do on a Sunday. I'll do 3 hours on a Sunday, and then sometimes I can make time on a Wednesday or a Thursday to do about 3 hours. 90 minutes in the morning, 90 minutes in the evening. But I say all that to say, you need to count the cost of how much time you have as well and plan that out. What days are you going to dedicate to each item? This is how you actually get stuff done. Now, you're talking to a doer. This is about planning and the real truth about probably why you don't have a garden or why your garden is never successful that I have never heard anybody talk about. This is going to be able to listen to this and grow from this video, you are going to have to be accountable and say, okay, it's not just my garden that I don't, you know, expound on, steward over, fully complete, actually produce. If typically, usually, the way we approach some things is the way we approach all things. So you could even apply this to your life in general. And I am a profitability coach for women of color, brown women of color who have service-based businesses. And so this is the same exact approach I use with them when they are trying to break that threshold of making $3,000 to $5,000 a month, right? That's specifically what I do for a living, right? You know, along with helping them create digital products, books, courses, and stuff like that. And this is what I tell them. Okay, you got to go, because we always get excited with goals. And then sometimes we'll get a to-do list, but it's the to-do list specifically actionable and aligned, and have we allocated time? So that's step 3. Even if you know, do an expansion goal, right? After you do, you know, your goals for what you already have, expounding and stewarding over what you already have, you do an expansion goal, then you can fit, you can see based on your allotted time how much time you have to squeeze in some new additions. Some of us don't even need to be growing our garden this year because we haven't even stewarded over the garden that we had last year. I mean, this is really just some serious practical reflection and thinking and planning. This is how I plan. I'm just being real. This is how I plan, right? So after you create your itemized to-do list, after you allocate the time based on your capacity and how much time you have to commit to the garden based on your lifestyle, your work schedule, you know, keeping your home, you know, obviously first and foremost, your commitment to Yah. And a lot of times this is my time with Yah. I can come out here and I can turn on my Bible app, you know, I can turn on my worship music, and it's this thing, when I tell you this garden is, he uses it as a vessel to heal me. So, you know, if you are, look, I'm gonna just keep it 100. Stay out of religion. If you get out of religion, you know, this could really be an opportunity here. Growing your own food could be a real opportunity. But nevertheless, after you get your actionable to-do list, now you have your needs list. What do I need, right? And so what I put, because I've already started my goals, I need some more of that poly landscape fabric that I showed y'all. This landscape fabric right here. All right. And I need that over there. That landscape fabric over there. That is the knitted landscape or something like that. But how much of it do I need? And that's when I was able to take a look at my measurements and see, okay, I got a 20-foot by 50-foot garden, in-ground garden, and then look at the different cuts on the garden cover fabric, or the ground cover fabric, y'all know what I'm saying, the ground cover fabric, and kind of do a little division here, right? So, you know, and even break down the numbers so that it's manageable for me, right? So 21 go into 3 pretty good, but 21 don't go into 4 the best. So I'll do 20 or 22 or you know what I'm saying, or 24, so that I'll have a little extra, but I'll have enough, right? So I start dividing things up based on what Walmart had available, what Lowe's had available. Now I will probably put in a clip of me actually taking the information that I got from my garden and then doing some online shopping, probably with the fabric, because it'll be hard to do it with the wood. But I went into what will I need, and specifically for me, I need more landscape fabric, I need more landscape pins, I need more wood, and what's this? This is wood as well, and then I need soil. So okay, so in determining this, let me get my watermelon juice. Y'all better be juicing. Stop playing. It's so good. Lord have mercy. Okay. So take a look at this right here. Remember I said, and this is just an example. Remember I said, let's steward over what we already have. Well, I have this planted out. This bed needs to be a little bit deeper as it matures, so that, you know, each of these plants can root better, but specifically these onions. So I need to buy a higher border to stack on top of this here. I measured it out. I have my measurements. I live in a rural town, so I don't really have nothing but Tractor Supply and Lowe's to price check. Figure out which one is the most affordable, because I don't already have wood that matches these measurements. But yep, I had a tape measure out here and I did a little recording. Then I also took these measurements and I said, okay, I'm gonna get a thicker wood, that comes up a little bit more height. Now remember, I'm a beginner, so whatever the words is for this, y'all fill it in. You know what I mean? But a higher wood, so that I don't have to buy a double decker for this next one that I want to build. Right here. It's going to be identical in size, but it's going to be more efficiently built, and it's going to be kind of uniform. But I'm just going to just make better decisions. And then over here, I need to raise my beds a little bit. This goes into the stewardship and making what I already have better. I need to raise this a little bit by buying at least two more borders, two more borders worth of wood, or however you say it, to make it higher, so that this bed can be deeper, and especially this bed right here. This is only 1 inch thick wood, if you can see through this grass. Yeah, this need to be 3 times higher so it can be deeper, because it's got my sweet potatoes and regular potatoes in there, and a couple peppers, and God bless me with some volunteer flowers. So I got pollinators coming, because I didn't even have enough time to get my my flowers in. I didn't buy any flower starts or even start any on my own, so he blessed me with that. So anyway, that's how you come up with what you need. And soil. So when I look at soil, and I'm showing you how to do it if you're a beginner and you don't think in cubic feet and inches. Okay, if you measure stuff with your arms sometimes, I'm talking to you. Yes, ma'am, I'm talking to you, because I do that. I'm a regular human being, baby. I don't know off the top of my head what a foot is by glance, because people do that on YouTube. And I don't know if it's intimidating to you, but to me, I'm just, honey, you lost me. Oh, it's about a 1/4 inch. Girl, what's that? Girl, I don't know. Girl, could you get your measuring tape out so I can see what you hollering about? That's my thought. So that is what this type of planning method, or that is who it's for. So okay, as I'm planning out this new square bed that we're gonna build, I'm thinking, how much soil is it gonna need? So what I did, ghetto or not, I bought that bed over there, and I remember, because I don't remember how much this took, because my husband, he did this. He built it and he filled it with the soil and everything. And I just kind of, over the course of 2 years, have been stewarding over it and making sure that the soil stays to the top, and building and planting it out. But anyway, I looked at that small bed over there. I said, how many small beds do I think I could fit in this big bed? Ooh, about 4 or 5. Okay, 4 or 5. How many bags of soil did that bed take? About 3 or 4. 3 times 5. Now that sounds like a lot, and it is. I said, maybe I'm overestimating, but to have soil left over when I plan on doing other stuff and planting, I plan on starting seeds all 2024. Like this is gonna be my first year I'm gonna have all season garden, so I'm gonna use it. But that's how I came up with how much soil I need. And y'all will see on the next videos if I overestimated, underestimated, but this is how you plan it out and budget. And then I kind of subtracted a couple of bags, because I said, well, I like to mix mine with Black Cow, with let me see, I don't have to go by memory, because I have my need list actually written out. Black Cow, Perlite, Peat Moss. Yeah. So that's the process. That's the process. After you come up with your need list, the last step is price checking and going and putting stuff in your cart if you ain't got the money yet, so that you can get the exact number. And if you don't have the money, it's important to put it in the cart still. Why? You have an exact number of how much money you can pray for. And let me tell you, Yah is a provider, baby. Woo! He's a provider. He provides. He does. He provides. for your needs. And growing your food in 2024 is a need. So with all that being said, I'm not gonna talk y'all ear off. I need to go get my toes done and my chin waxed. So I'm about to do that. I've got my need list. I'm about to pass it over to my gracious husband who does the heavy lifting for me. So thankful for him. Okay, and I'm gonna get on out of here. Let me know if you have any questions. And like I said, probably at the end of this video, you know, or whenever, my husband will insert a clip of me actively price checking some things that I accumulated on my need list. But I want you to really think about what I said. I think this is a video that you probably need to listen to before you start every season. Some videos or some things we learn, we need to keep listening to it so it can minister to us, but so it could also strip away any excess foolishness. We need to do that. I need to do it, you know, and trust me, I'm even more accountable to y'all for doing what I'm teaching, because I'm teaching it, because I'm saying it, I have to do it. Or the conviction is just that much greater. So anyway, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, listen, it's very important that you drop it down below so that we can talk about this, because I really want to be able to help you grow your food this year. All right, bye. All right, y'all, so I said I would have my husband add in a clip of me kind of doing some of that executing that we were talking about. So let's first off take a glance at the list, and then let's kind of do just one exercise where we could put this, you know, whole process to work in real life, right? So I'm sure all of you have, you know, created goals, you've written out your action plans, maybe even gotten to step 3 and written out your list of tools and resources that you will need. But have you been specific, right? Instead of like, yeah, you know, we talked about it earlier. Yep, you're gonna have to eyeball some things like I did with my big square bed. You know, I said, how many little beds could I fit in this square bed? Why? Because I knew exactly how many bags of soil and, you know, nutrition it took for me to fill up that big bed. However, let's talk about things like landscape fabric and things that require you to, you know, take measurements, right? And so I'm trying to see. So I know I have 8 rows, and I'm looking at my notes as I'm talking to y'all, so bear with me here. I know I have 8 rows, and I know that each row is 50 feet long. So I've already got half of my my in-ground bed covered with the first layer of poly landscape fabric, right? But I need the other 50% of it, right? So that would mean that I need to get, let's see, 4 rows, right? Because I got about 8 rows, so about 4 rows worth of landscape fabric, right? So 4 by 50, right? That's kind of the math I'm gonna go with, just for example, right? So now I need to go in and price check the different resources to get the best deal. This is the part where a lot of us are lazy, and if you have the money to do that, absolutely. But if you don't have the money, you know, in terms of just super abundance, you know, and you are a budgeter, you are someone who wants to have a savings, you're someone who wants to have a decent quality of life, you're someone who you're convicted about stewardship, this is where there's some work in a couple of days involved depending on how busy you are. And I would admonish you to take the time to go through here and say, okay, I need 4 foot by 50 first to start off with, right? And then price check and see, okay, this is 3 foot. No, not okay. So a standard roll for the poly fabric is $24, $25. Okay, now let's look on Amazon and see how much it's gonna be. Okay, so then we're looking for 4. Okay, this is 4 by 100. I still could use this. I would just have to cut it at 50, and in my mind I could get more, right? Because if I cut it, then I could just use more, you know what I mean? Like I could just have more on hand. So then we got, okay, but let's see if we can find 4 by 50. It's just to keep everything, but that is something to think about. Like, okay, it'll give me more. Let me see. Okay, let's see if we can find it. And it's funny. Okay, so this is, okay, is this 4 by 50? Okay, so this is $14.99. So look at that. That's already $10 difference. $10. Okay. Now, here's another caveat. They don't have this in the store. Well, they don't have all of it in the store that I'm looking for, right? Like they don't have this in Lowe's. I just went the other day. So you have to take things like that into account. Okay, if I'm gonna get it shipped, is the shipping gonna be free? If it's not gonna be free, then I might as well go to Amazon. So this is just me humoring you a little bit to go into depth with this step right here. Cause step 1 and 2, we do it, probably. Maybe some of y'all don't itemize your action steps. Maybe that's been a hookup, but then this would be another hold up if you don't do this. I admonish you to shop around, compare prices, and get the best bang for your buck. Slow down so that you can do it right. Always remember, you can get containers for temporary housing for, up potting plants and stuff like that, so that you don't feel rushed to make decisions to get things done. It's better to get things done the right way first, okay? And so that's really it, y'all. If you want us to email this to you, this is going to be the email address that you're going to want to reach out to. We're getting our email list together for setapartgardens.com very soon, where y'all will have, all kind of resources, a private community, and all the different things. But for now, just email us and I'll send you this quick bullet point list, or you could just pause the video right here, screenshot it, and boom, there you go. All right, talk to y'all soon.
Moms over Baghdad really ain't that bad. Little wiretap, yes. Little dodge in the IRS. Little haven from the tax man.